Section G. You can use 6-6 notes, and also on a few of them, you're going to be also using 6-2, which is the distributive property. All right, so the idea here, these are all equations. So thus far, we've been talking about expressions. These are equations because they have equal signs. Okay, so now we're solving for x. So in your notes, remember you were supposed to locate, oops, let's spell locate correctly. Locate the variable, we'll put a variable for, or VAR for variable, the constant, which I'll put key C-O-N, I'll put the whole thing, C-O-N-S-T-A-N-T, and then finally the coefficient. Okay, and then after you've located those, let's go ahead and do that on number 1. So here's the variable, and then plus 9 is the constant, and 8 is the coefficient. So we are working on the left side, removing the 8 and the 9, but there's an order that we do this in. So what is the order? Well, in your notes, you have the first thing to do, and you had a second thing to do. The first thing was to remove the constant. So I put a big R, remove the constant. And the idea, you're trying to make a 0 out of it. The second thing is you're to remove the coefficient. And you're trying to make a 1 out of that. All right, so let's do the first thing first. Plus 9 is our constant, and so to get rid of plus 9, we can add a negative 9. You can also subtract 9. That works just fine. And that gives you a 0, exactly what we want to do to the constant, make it a 0. And since it's working, we're going to bring it to the other side of the equal sign. Now don't get mixed up. There are two sides to the equal sign. Some teachers are building walls right down. Some teachers are just leaving it open and knowing that there are two sides. All right, so 8x comes down, the equal sign comes down, and negative 31 plus negative 9, they're both negatives, so use your t-charts, they both go on the negative side. Add them together, and you get 40 negatives, so negative 40. Then we're going to do the second thing, remove the coefficient. 8 is the coefficient. The idea here is you're trying to make the coefficient into the number 1. So 8 is multiplying the x, so we are going to divide by 8. And that creates a nice 1 there. Since it's working, we'll do it to the other side. And x is a negative divided by a positive is a negative answer, and 40 divided by 8 is 5. So our answer is negative 5. Remember, you could check, you could put negative 5 right where the x is, and that'd be 8 times negative 5 times 8 would be negative 40, and negative 40 plus positive 9 is negative 31. That's how you know when you're right. All right, let's do another. The subtraction sign, I'm going to have additive inverse, but before I do that, a is alone, so we know that it has a coefficient of 1, because 1 times a is still a. Then we do the additive inverse just to make things look nice. We locate the variable, which is a. We locate the constant, which is 17 plus, and then the coefficient to a is negative 1. So our a is on the right side this time, so we're trying to make those numbers go to the left. So we'll deal with the constant first. That's the order. 17 plus 17. How do we make 17 into a 0? We add negative 17. Is it working? It sure is. And since it is, we're going to use the property of equality and do it to the other side. And negative 25 plus negative 17 in a t-chart is negative 42. Bring down the negative 1a. Then to find out what a is, to remove the negative 1, we need to make it into the number 1. So we'll divide by negative 1. That gives us a positive 1, leaves a positive. We'll do it to the other side. Oops, that's not 1. Hold on. Put a 1 there. Negative 42 divided by negative 1 is a positive 42. So we'll turn this problem around. A is 42. Okay, I'm going to have you pause the video and try this next one, but before you do, you may use additive inverse. It may help you get the right answer. So pause the video and try it out. Okay, here we are back, and the answer is -5, and you can see I attacked the constant first on the variable side, made it into a 0, and then I made -3 into the number 1, the coefficient, by dividing by -3. And I got x is -5. Make sure when you're doing this that you're bringing all the signs down. You're not leaving anything behind. A lot of times students are making mistakes because they leave stuff behind. All right, let's go down to the next row here. The next row has a fraction. Shouldn't be any big deal. So we have a subtraction sign, so we're going to do additive inverse. And we can see we still have a variable, we still have a constant plus -4, and we still have a coefficient of 3/5. So we will always begin with removing the constant, make -4 into 0 by adding +4, and that creates a 0. So if we do it to one side, we'll do it to the other. And 3/5 x comes down. And 17 plus 4, they're both positive, so that is 21. Okay, now we need to get rid of the 3/5. That's multiplying the x. There's two ways to do this. You could either divide by 3/5, which would give you a 1, or you can multiply by its reciprocal, which would also give you the number 1. So multiplying by its reciprocal is faster because that's what you're going to end up doing with the division anyhow. So since that gives you a 1, by going 5 times 3 and 3 times 5 is 15 over 15, which is +1. We will do it to the other side as well. 5 over 3. X will come down, so is the equal sign. And 21 can be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. And if you know how to cross reduce, that is awesome. I will use that. 3 goes into both of these numbers. 3 goes into here once. 3 goes into here 7 times. And now 7 times 5 is 35. If you don't know how to cross reduce, you'll go 21 times 5 is 105. And 1 times 3 is 3. And you'll do 105 divided by 3. And you'll get 35. So either way would work. Let's move on to the next one. We have a subtraction sign here, so we're going to do additive inverse. There is no number in front of the w, so we're going to add a 1. So it looks like a fraction now, -1 over 5. Here's the variable, here's the coefficient, and here is, oh sorry, the 28 is the constant. I said it wrong. -1 over 5 is the coefficient. All right, let's get rid of 28 by adding -28, and that is a 0, so we'll do it to the other side. And 23 plus -28 is -5. We'll bring down the -1w over 5. And we could, the long way here, we could get rid of the -1/5 by dividing by -1/5. That would make a number 1. But also, if we multiply by -5 over 1, that also makes the number 1. So that's the shorter way to go. So we'll get rid of this. And since it's working over here, we're going to do it to the other side. And w comes down. And -5 times -5 is +25. And we'll turn our answer around. W is 25. All right, it's trying to pause the video and try this one out. Okay, we're back, and this is the 6th one right here. X is -5. Pause that video and make sure you're doing these right. Okay, the last row of practicing solving equations, two-step equations. So this one has 1/4 on the outside. We have minus sign in the inside. So we're going to do additive inverse to it. -8 or plus -8. And now we're going to do 1/4 times x or 1/4 times -8. But we also learned something in our lesson on how to deal with this problem. And that was factoring. This 1/4 right here. We learned that we could divide this side by 1/4, and that creates this to be a 1. And if it's working over here, we can also do it over here. Okay, so how do we deal with this? Well, on the previous questions, you could divide by 1/4, but you could also multiply this front number by 4/1. That also gives you a 1. So since that's working, we can do this side over here and multiply by 4/1. And what's left over? Well, x plus -8 is inside the parentheses. There's nothing there anymore. Is equal to, and what is 2? Let me get rid of some of these things here. We're not doing this and this. What is 2 times 4? It would be 8. Now it's super simple problem. The fraction is gone. And now we can add +8 to this side. That would give us 0. That will leave x by itself. And since we did to this side, we're going to do it to this side over here. And 8 plus 8 is 16. Now you could, like I said, you could distribute here, and that would work just the same. In fact, let's show that as well. I'm going to move this to the right, and I will make a line down the center. Okay, and let's go ahead and distribute this. 1/4 times x is 1/4 x, and 1/4 times -8, make that into a fraction, is 1/4. Let's write that. 1/4 times -8/1 is -8/4 is equal to 2. Now we can simplify this. -8 divided by 4 is -2. Okay. Now we also, like just before, we have our variable, we have our constant, and we have our coefficient. So we'll get rid of the constant first by adding 2. That's a 0. So we'll do it to the other side. That's 1/4 x is equal to 4. And then we will get rid of this coefficient by multiplying by its reciprocal. That creates a 1. So we'll do it to the other side. And x is 16. So there's 2 ways to do this, and you pick which way is best for you. All right, moving on to this one. I'm going to have you pause the video and try this one out. But before you pause, that subtraction sign, remember, you can always use additive inverse to make it a little bit easier. So pause the video and try that one out. Okay, here are 2 ways to do this one. On the left side, I did the distributive property. And on the right side, inside this little box here, I factored out the -3 on both sides. So which one you like is which way you should use it. And the last one, go ahead and pause the video and try this out. I won't give you any hints about that subtraction sign. Just go ahead and pause and try it. All right, and here's your answer for the last one. X is -10. All right, there's 9 examples here. There's a lot of examples because on the test, I think there's 5 or 6 questions like this, equations. And again, what are equations? Equations have equal signs. Look at all these equal signs. They have 2 sides. These are called equations. They are not expressions, and they are not inequalities. All right, on the mastery schedule, are you ready, or do you need more studying for this?